Caffeinated Warlord here with another Kings of War tournament battle report, this being the first of 6 from the latest ConVic 2023 tournament that happened here in Victoria, Australia. So if you want to see a battle between my Undead and Stephen Tuck's Order of the Green Lady at 2150 points, then watch on. This is now 2 weeks after the tournament, roughly, a bit longer. I would have had it out sooner, and I was really trying hard to, get around to that. But unfortunately, I was also getting ready to go to China with my wife, and so I'm actually recording this from China and sending it to you through the Great Firewall of China. So if you're appreciating the difficulty of that, please let me know. I don't think a few of you would understand how tricky that might be. In any case, what this tournament was ConVic 2023. So it was held in Victoria, Australia, down in Melbourne in a suburb called Springvale, which is not where you'd expect Kings of War tournaments to happen, but it was held in a bowls club, a lawn bowls club, and I attended it last year and made a whole bunch of tournament reports about that. And this year I'm doing it once again, but this time 1 video per round, because that's what does better for the algorithm. So this tournament is pretty simple. It's just 6 rounds over the 2 days and 2,150 points as a between the 2300 and the 1995 that you typically see. So you can take some big things, but not all the big things. And so it just makes it a bit different. Previous years, ConVic was actually at 2 different points levels for the days. So one day was one thing and one day was another. But I think people just generally wanted to have the 1 points level so you can get really good at that one army. And I certainly appreciated that, because it was only as I was getting through the games. I mean, I played this a bit, but you don't play it against enough variety until you take it to a tournament, and I really appreciated the fact that it was the same tournament points, because then I could really get to grips with my own army. So yeah, let's get into the games. So the first game was against Stephen Tuck, also known as Tucky, and he has an Order of the Green Lady army that looks fantastic. It's a 3D print range, Arthurian kind of knights mixed in with a lot of nature elements, so it's just perfect for a Green Lady army. And it's probably the first 3D printed army that I've seen, as in it was the first one I ever saw that really looked good and it was completed, because a lot of the time you see 3D printed armies, they get made, they don't get painted. It's easy to print models, it's hard to get them painted. Whereas somehow Stephen has the ability to just paint and paint and paint like crazy. He has a color palette that he likes to do, and when he does it fast. And so yeah, this whole army churned out, looks good, it's got bright, vibrant colors, and I really appreciated battling against it. Now, I grudged him because I actually have never played him before, despite the fact that we attend pretty much all the same kinds of events over the last 2 years since I've started playing. I've never had the pleasure of playing against him, so I wanted to make sure that would happen. That's why, last time I did Matthew Selleck last year, and this time it was against Tucky. And I'm definitely, as Challenge Charge and Rob Fanoff would say, you should always challenge up, grudge up. And so I think I'm grudging up, because Stephen's actually won quite a few events. He's pretty good. And so we'll see how I go. So let's get into the lists. So I took Undead. You've seen the Undead a bit already, and we called it the Fun Dead, we being Matt Truella, the guy who I write 𝓛𝓪𝓭𝔂 articles with. And so let's go through the list. We have the basic start of every Undead list really is 3 regiments of zombies and a regiment of skeleton spearmen. Both of them have kind of the same role, they just get in the way, they hold objectives, but the skeleton spearmen do it slightly better at more of a cost. But I didn't have any more regiments of zombies physically, as models. So that's why it's like this. But the skeleton spearmen, they're actually pretty good, because they have that extra unit strength by having the spears, and they have phalanx, so it's not so easy to take them out. So I actually found them quite useful. Then we have a troop of wraiths, which are thick chaff, defense 6, and they're actually quite fast, even though they are shambling. And then we get into the hammers. So I have 2 Soul Reaver infantry regiments, so these are just classic, good crushing 20 attack beasts, and one I upgraded with Staying Stone. Then I have the next hammer being a Horde of Whites, and that has the Blade of Slashing. So, that's just a Horde of Whites. Fantastic. And then as more chaff of the thick variety, we have 2 troops of Revenant Cavalry, also kind of fast, but they are shambling. And then we have the final hammer unit, and that's a regiment of Soul Reaver Cavalry with Sir Jesse's Boots of Striding. And these are probably the weakest of the different hammers that I have. But I really like the unit. I've got the actual Soul Reaver Cavalry models that I used to make this unit, as well as Abyssal Horsemen to add up numbers. And yeah, I just really like the look of them, and they are pretty good. I mean, they are faster than all the other stuff. Everything else is relatively slow. Speed 7 white, speed 6 Soul Reaver. So it's good to have something a bit faster. And I do miss the werewolves, but the werewolves are definitely too expensive, and I'm not very good at using them. So finally in the list, we have the 2 Balefire catapults to put on some pressure, and then we have the support pieces being the Revenant King with Surge 5, so he's just running around on foot, Revenant King on Undead Horse, not Hearse, that'd be cool, with Surge 5, and the Trickster's 1 to give him Hex 2, which is a nice little thing he can do in the first few turns of the game, as he's just kind of moving up, and a Necromancer with the Inspiring Talisman, Heal 3, and Banechant 2, because I had enough Surge and I felt like I needed some heal. It's really useful for, when someone's getting that early chip damage on your Whites or your Soul Reavers, you can take it off, and knowing that they've also got the Life Leech to help take off some more. So yeah, I found it quite useful, although I never really rolled that hot with it. But yeah, that's the army. 16 units, 24 unit strength. Not bad, I reckon. I'm pretty happy with it. It's a solid, got a bit of everything kind of undead list. There's obviously things you could tweak it up, but I'm happy with it. So, what am I going against? What did Stephen Tuck bring for Order of the Green Lady? Well, it was fast. It was a fast list. And he called it the Ladies' Horde. And that's referring to a horde of cavalry that's in it, which you don't see. Let's go from the top. 2 Naiad Heart Piercers, good piercing 1 shooting, just classic, I've got the Flame Bearer variant in my Abyssals, so, I know how these kind of work. Then we have 1 regiment of Brotherhood Centaurs, which they just seem like light cavalry, right? They're not as defensive and not as hitty, but they're still pretty good at combat. And then we have 1 troop of Centaur Bray Hunters, which is probably the closest thing this army has to chaff. Then we go with the Horde, so the Ladies' Horde being the Order of the Brotherhood Horde of Cavalry. Crazy. It's got the Banner of the Green Lady, Brew of Strength, so it's going to hit hard and then keep hitting pretty hard. So yeah, definitely kind of terrified of that. Then we have the next order, which I'm finally getting organized in my brain because forever this army confused me. But the Order of Redemption is the more hitty cavalry, so they've got 20 attacks, and they have Thunder 1, Crushing 1, and they have Regeneration, so that's what makes them better. And these guys have the Blessing of the Gods, so they also have Elite. So the Order of Redemption is also quite nasty. Then we have the Order of the Forsaken, which are the flying ones, which I'm now getting my head around as well. They're probably the easiest to remember because they also have they're bigger base, and so they've been given the Vial of Sacred Water, so they have the Sacred Water upgrade, and the Wine of Elven Kind to give them Nimble. So it's a nimble flying horde of damage. Nasty. Finally, the support pieces in his army. He has Avatar of the Green Lady, so that's just straight up heals for everyone. Then we have the Exemplar Redeemer on Winged Unicorn with Blood of the Old King, so that's just a unit strength 1 flying large cavalry guy, just to go around, and obviously it can do some damage because it does have Blood of the Old King, but it's also there to play the scenario game. And then finally we have 2 unicorns with Lightning Bolt 5, and the unicorns are just pretty good. And I definitely underestimate them in this game. So let's get into this game. So, what do we have here at Salt the Earth? It's probably, I guess you're coming in fresh, you had your coffee, you're ready to go, so why not a kind of tricky scenario? So Salt the Earth has a lot of tokens, and as they talked about in the Countercharge episode about area control, it's an interesting one because the score can change, because you can burn them, even at the start. Burning them does not grant you them, it just denies your opponent and yourself from getting them, so you usually want to burn them to just make sure that no one gets it. So let's go into the terrain first. I'll introduce the terrain. So we have here hill and hill. 2 hills either side, pretty much the same spots. In the middle we have 2 forests right here. This is a big forest. It actually comes all the way down here, which is good to have different kind of size terrain. Then we have blocking. So there's this little hut here and this little fort here. It's all pretty much mirror image, isn't it? Then we have a difficult terrain down here near my hill, and then a difficult terrain over there underneath his essentially all his cavalry. And then 1 obstacle jutting out from this small building, and the other obstacle, well, we'll see. We can't see it, so I can't tell you where. Oh no, there it is. There's the obstacle. You can see my Revenant Cavalry leaning on top of it. So that's the battlefield. So when I was picking let's introduce 1 rule of ConVic, which is at the start, before choosing sides, you roll off, and whoever wins gets to move a single piece of terrain up to 6 inches in any way. And so what I was doing, let's move 1 hill into the deployment zone, because we're using Epic Dwarf maps, which don't have hills and deployment zones. And so I moved 1 in and thought, let's go. let's use that for my balefire catapults. But then the next thing was then obviously you place the tokens, Salt the Earth tokens. And so we have 3 each to place. One goes in the center, right here. And you can see all the other ones indicated by all the arrows. So the ones I placed are ones that I was like, okay, my zombies can take them. But then I was conflicted because actually I moved this hill here, but didn't want to also put the 2 tokens, one here, if in case I don't get this side, because then he just gets it, which was silly because I really should have put one here, and one there, so that if I get this side, I'm really doing well if I get to choose sides. But for some reason I was thinking, but actually, because I only have 3 to place, and the way I want to place them is I want to place them in very hidden spaces where I can leave my dirt cheap zombies, and he would really have to go out of his way to get them. And that's what I did. I put one over here behind this hill, I put one over here behind this blocking terrain, and I put one behind this blocking terrain. So they're the ones I placed, whereas he wants to actually get into the middle because he's super fast, so he's got one here, and here. And so that's not helpful for me whatsoever. But yeah, since I was greedy and still wanted to use the hill that I placed, I did get to choose, and I decided not to choose the side that had the 2. I decided to choose the one with the hill in order to help me shoot really not anything, because the problem is we've got these annoying blocking these forests in the middle, so really what am I gaining? It's even as I was doing it, I'm like, this was dumb, why did I do this? But you gotta you make your bed, you lie in it, and so that's what I've done. So then it came time to deployment. So I have this one. I was hoping I could go over here and get this one, knowing that his army didn't want to come over here. So I've got 1 regiment of zombies next to the balefire catapults, not only to protect the balefire catapults a little bit, but also to move up and get that objective or burn it if I need to. Then to contest some of the objectives in the middle, and just generally I didn't have much room over here, I put my Soul Reaver cavalry here with some skeleton spearmen, you can see those here, and zombies, all inspired by my Soul Reaver on mount. So that's the mounted Soul Reaver, Revenant King, we almost got there. Revenant King on horse. There he is, with the hex. There to hex the unicorn, hopefully. There's the zombies behind here, they're not going anywhere. And then here is my brick of hammers. It's just got whites, Soul Reaver, and in front of each of the Soul Reavers there is Revenant Cavalry, and in front of the whites there are the Wraiths. And then here there's the Necromancer, and there's the other Revenant King. And the idea is I can use this blocking terrain because he is so fast. I didn't want him to envelop me or get me, and so I wanted to use this blocking terrain to just move up and just, I guess I expect to take the hit, and then I will counter hit with something hopefully very powerful. That's kind of the plan. But let's see what he deployed. Over here we have the troop of the Bray Hunters. I'm going backwards so we can see them. So there's the Bray Hunters, I think that's what they're called. And then we have the Order of the Forsaken, very flying looking, very cool. And then we have the first Unicorn. Then we have, what are those? I think they're the Redemption, Heart Piercers, Exemplar Redeemer there, behind them on the Winged Unicorn. Then here we have the Horde, unmistakable Horde of Brotherhood, Unicorn, the Avatar of the Green Lady somewhere behind the Horde, and then on the left we have more Heart Piercers to hit on that token, and we have the Centaur, the other Centaurs. I'm getting mixed up with the Centaurs. It's the Hitty regiment of Centaurs. So that's what we got. So, I'm not sure what to do with this Horde. I know it's just going to come through and wherever it's going to hit, but hopefully I can slow it down and then get the punch on it with my Soul Reaver Cavalry. But unfortunately, that's it. The Soul Reaver Cavalry have nothing else to go with it, so I'm hoping I'll maybe get some chip damage or something, but chip damage isn't going to work with all this heal. So I was kind of just like, why did I really focus on the catapults? Because I feel like in this battle, the catapults aren't going to do much, right? They might do better if they were over here and just constantly plonking into the Forsaken, because I'll be able to see them all the time. They're tall, they're height 4, so there's never a time that I'll be able to not shoot them. So I really should have done that instead. But hey, this is what I do. This is the show where I judge my own mistakes, and you guys get to see it. So, done. Oh yeah, let's take a look. So there's the token. You already know where it is. There's a token under here. Skipping tokens, let's look at the army. So we have the Unicorn. I just like the Unicorn with a lightning bolt. It's got a damsel on it because someone's actually casting it. I know these Unicorns are supposed to be independent, but help is required sometimes. There we go, looking cool. horde of cavalry, nothing quite as epic as a big honkin' horde, you know. So it's the Riders of Rohan, but this is the Arthurian version coming in. And there we go. Not bad. And here's my army, yes. I'm pretty proud of how quickly I painted it all up, because I think it was in March. None of this was really touched up or painted. All right, turn 1, here we go. So he goes first, he moves up. Pretty simple. He's very shy about this hill. He doesn't want to get anything over that hill, because the moment he does, things start happening. So he's just kind of sitting behind it and asking me to ask the question first. Yeah, there wasn't much to tell. So then my turn, I move up as well. So moving up on the right here, I make sure my cavalry is in line with this blocking terrain, and that's about it. We can't move that much further because unfortunately quite a few things were hindered by this annoying obstacle, but otherwise we're just maintaining formation here. Zombies staying there, and I'm moving up here with my spearmen, zombies, the cavalry to just start, you know, putting some threat on things. But right now, nothing can really do anything yet. And then here, just moving up the zombies and hoping to shoot some stuff. I think I was aiming for the harpiers because I was like, if I can get rid of them off the objective, that would be fantastic. Turn 2. So I did do some damage. They're regenerating, and it's quite annoying. And so they're moving up. Just showing what they did. Now, I didn't measure shit. I mean, what I did measure, I did know that I was putting forward the skeletons and the zombies for offering them as bait. Because, like, go ahead, charge them, I don't care. If we go back to here, I guess here we can see. And so I measured that. I'm like, yeah, these guys can go here, these guys go here. What do I care? The spearmen, they may not even get through them very well. I mean, that was my thought process. But what I didn't measure, not at all, measure at all, because these guys can't see. So the centaurs can't see my Soul Reaver cavalry. So I was like, okay, cool. Nothing's charging my Soul Reaver cavalry. Wrong. I did not measure the charge range of the unicorn. And why didn't I measure the charge range of the unicorn? Well, it's because I severely underestimated the actual combat prowess of a unicorn. I just thought they were caster, you know, a one-attack kind of deal. No, it turns out they're a Thunder 1, Crushing 1, Melee 3, a 3-attack little beast. And yeah, it came in to chaff up my Soul Reaver cavalry. And I was just like, oh no, this is not good. Because now this definitely means I can't get the jump on the horde of cavalry. I'm stuck here. It was very smart, obviously, but it was not very smart of me. It was very smart of Tucky. So that's not great. Whereas over here, everything's trying to stay off the hill, because now I've moved up with the Soul Reaver cavalry. That 16-inch bubble has pushed out to pretty much the edge of the hill, and so he doesn't want to give any charges there, so it's just like holding back. So yeah, and there's the lady just healing stuff, nothing's being damaged, and so yeah, he destroys the skeleton spearman. Okay, fair enough. I mean, it was only a -1 to hit. That's not really going to stop these guys, and he kills the zombies with the centaurs. That was a little bit more surprising, but I guess they're pretty good. So yeah, good stuff. And does 2 damage to my Soul Reaver cavalry, definitely disordering them, which, you know, you would expect. And so here in my turn, I'm just countercharging, moving my Soul Reaver Revenant King over here just to get out of the way so he doesn't get charged by anything. I've got my catapults just hopefully going to shoot some stuff, and the zombies moving to that objective. So we'll see how that goes. Off they go, and I'm just kind of angling a bit. I'm just like, I want to get closer, so that's what I'm doing. No charges yet there, and the zombies stay put. Alright, so it's a big moment. Time to hit back, and I fail. I do, I don't know, 4 damage or something. We can't see because the banner's in the way. Good work, photography man. But it's definitely not a high number. It's a very low number. And by not killing them, now I can't do the cool overrun and into his cavalry and at least get some hits in. I definitely wouldn't kill them because I'm disordered. So I'm going to be crushing one, and I'm going to be hindered. Well, I can use my boots, I suppose. But anyway, I wouldn't be hitting enough to kill them. But I still won't even get a hit in because I couldn't kill a unicorn. So turn 3. Well, that unicorn's just like, yeah, see, look, 4 wounds, nothing. So the unicorn's just like, oh, bye, out, and then goes off to kill one of my Balefire catapults. Now that's really annoying because it's just now with impunity able to go off and cause all kinds of havoc. Next we have obviously the Soul Reavers getting charged by the horde of cavalry. I've got 1 damage on my Revenant King, and I'm not sure why. Don't know. Oh, is there a... Oh, she's got the Cloak of Death going. She can do the balance thing. There we go. So yeah, she's doing the balance. Yep. So Balefire Catapult, boom, gone. Story of the Cavalry, they will be gone. I can tell you that as much. And here, some damage being put down by what I assume are heart piercers and unicorns. Yep, the Soul Reaver Cavalry gone. And now the cavalry, his whole horde is like, and we're done. Time to turn the other way and kill everything else. So that's not good because it didn't take them that long to be distracted. We're on turn 3 here, folks, so that means they've still got the rest of the game, another 3 to 4 turns, to cause havoc in the rest of my lines. So, shit. And here we have some... Well, now it's my turn. Hey, cool. So I've gotten here with the zombies, and I'm just hoping to hold this because I've charged in with my own free attack little beat stick, but he's only crushing one, not thunder one crushing one. So he's going in, and he's going to hopefully do a little bit of damage. But these heart piercers, with their regen, pretty hard to take out. Over here, well, yeah, it looks like I've lost my wraiths. Where did I put them? You know, sometimes you lose something, you just like, where was the last place you put them? But I would assume they just got shot off because he was doing a lot of shooting over the course of the turns. And were they there before? They weren't. So yeah, it turns out they got shot off a while ago. Yeah, because he's got the heart piercers doing pretty good, backed up by a lightning bolt there. So and the Centaur Bray Hunters. So you know, it's a combined shooting of a decent amount, and so that was going then into my stuff. Oh, a spoiler, sorry. Yeah, so now I'm just trying to get on the hill, so at least I can really force the issue, and this is the point where he will charge me. So now the unicorn and the heart piercers have gone into combat to hit these zombies, because I guess I just sorted the heart piercers, so he's like, I might as well just charge them in and take out these zombies and get that objective. Fair enough. And so now he's sending in his chaff to my chaff, which is not what I want. I don't want chaff hitting my chaff, because my chaff can't take out his chaff. Because unfortunately, once you hit some Revenant Cavalry, they don't really do that well by themselves. They lose all their Thunderous. So this is the situation we're in, and so yeah, he kills the zombies, which is kind of surprising actually, but he, 8 wounds, and then they're not inspired, so bloop, gone. And so he's turned around. Over here, did a little bit of damage, but not enough to get rid of any Revenant Cavalry. In my turn, I'm kind of blocked up a bit. I mean, really what I could have done, could I have counter-charged here? No, maybe not. The gaps are, yeah, maybe, yeah, because where would this side to the left, they might not fit there. So then if these guys goes here, they would slide to the right, and they would fit. They would? Maybe. Yeah, it's tricky. Let's see. I've blocked things in too closely. I need to work on my spacing in this deployment of my army. And here are the wraiths just getting shot at and hopefully threatening things. But I'm trying to not give up flanks. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay, so over here, yeah, I'm just trying to get some combat back, some damage done to this bloody unicorn. Just take it out, hopefully, and then maybe my Balefire Catapult can be lucky with the heart piercers. I do 5 damage. It's a wavering, but still not going to stop it. Balefire Catapult going into the Centaurs, bit of damage, but it's a bit too late. And here's I think this was me putting my camera on the table, so yeah, ignore this. And then we have the combat's continuing, just grinding things out. I don't know how to get out of this. Really, can I countercharge and charge in with the Soul Reavers? Probably, but do I want to? Probably not, because then they'll get charged by these guys. So, I don't know. Turn 5. Oh, they're all getting messy. So now the Centaurs that I was shooting that have come through and hit the flank of my Revenants. And what was there before? Oh, there. And the Unicorn gone off to do what unicorns do well, is to chaff up and get into the whites. And hopefully the whites can kill this unicorn and flank those bloody the centaurs. So we'll see how that goes. And the Exemplar Redeemer actually, now in turn 5, has made itself its mission to go after my zombies, which I don't want it to do because I need this objective, because it's the only one I've bloody got. So what I'm going to do is do some cheeky stuff where I give it the front, but only in blocking terrain, so it can't actually charge me. And so here we go, got some flanks, and yeah, a little bit of damage on... Where are we going here? What's going on? Okay, there we go. Too many pictures. I'm taking pictures at the start of combat. So here's all the combat. And yeah, obviously the unicorns run off. So what do we got going on here? yeah, they've obviously killed the chaff there, and these chaff remain. My Revenant Cavalry there. And so here it is my turn. So I've charged in, obviously, Soul Reavers in, because I got it. I don't want to, but that's what I have to do. So they're charging in, unfortunately. Or do I have to? Did I have to? What could I have done differently? I could have backed these up instead and charged, well, hit that unicorn with my white, hopefully killed it, and then overrun into the centaurs, killed them, and then it'll be the whites in front and the Soul Reavers at the back. Would that make it any better? I don't know. And here I am wiggling these guys to give him the front on the Exemplar Redeemer, but he can't charge me in the front, so yeah, he's going to abandon that situation pretty quickly. Over here, I'm trying to take out some stuff with my Revenant King, but he's only got 3 attacks, so it's definitely hard going. And I do a little bit of damage, but I don't take him out. So in turn 6, well, obviously, you can see I took out those cavalry there, but I did not take out the unicorn, so it's a bloody good thing I didn't rely on it. But 8 damage! I got 8 damage, and I have Brutal, so I was really close, but I'm rolling really shocking on my nerves as well, so yeah, I'm really not killing much. His kill pile is essentially just occupied. I've killed these centaurs too. It's just occupied by centaurs, which is the very cheapest part of his army, which is not great. So I'm good at killing cheap stuff. Hooray! And so here we are, just angling and ready to take hits. The unicorn's gone into the other one. I can't stop it. It's just going to take out my Balefire catapults. Yeah, the real charges are happening. The horde into the Soul Reavers. The unicorn's still somehow doing its thing, and the Order of Redemption into my Revenant Cavalry. I don't mind about that. Hopefully I get a chance to hit it back. And these guys are now booking it over here because he's actually holding an objective, and so the 9 heart piercers are going to replace the Forsaken in that role. And the Exemplar Redeemer, as predicted, decided to abandon trying to harass zombies because even were he to finally get into combat, he might need 2 rounds to get rid of them, and he will not out-unit strength me on that token. So he's decided to go back for the token that he definitely can hold. Reaction shot. Far too blurry. Here we go. That's better. So just showing the combats before, showing some rolls. Was that the unicorn? It's the heals. Unicorn heals. The unicorn is okay, folks, in case you're worried. And this unicorn, the unicorns are just doing too dang good. I can tell you, when I was reading the arm list, I'm like, and here's just some unicorns. Like, that's what I thought, and now I've got much more respect for unicorns. So, fantastic. Yes, Dead Revenant Cavalry, finally. That's expected. Soul Reaver Infantry, expected, but sad. So in my turn, I took the best situation, which was to really try and kill something. And so that involved, no damage. I've got 1 damage there, so no damage to my whites. The whites have gone in. They've been healed a little bit. My Necromancer, I'm gone into the flank of the Order of Redemption, and in the front, I've got my Reavers. The Revenant King there has gone into the flank of the Horde to just disorder them a bit, so they don't have their Thunderous 2, because I don't want them to be wounding on 2s. I'd rather just them use their Brew of Strength. But there's still this Order of the Forsaken in the background, so really, it's all quite for naught. Turn 7. I mustn't have killed much. Well, we'll see soon. Over here, just the Revenant King getting really hammered now by the piercers he still hasn't killed because they're regenerating far too well, and the unicorns come in to really show him that it can kill just so much. It's killed far too much. It's killed zombies, 2 Balefire catapults. It's done fantastic. Over here, yeah, I did kill Order of Redemption, so the grand prize for killing an Order of Redemption is getting hit by Forsaken Cavalry and the Horde of Cavalry, the Order of the Brotherhood. So that's not really the prize I signed up for, but it is the one that I got because that was all that was available. And so, yeah, I don't expect the Order of the Forsaken to really smash through my Soul Reaver infantry, but the Horde of Cavalry will definitely make short work of white. Especially with the unicorn in the flank. Jeez, those unicorns, that's the unicorn's going to do the job. And over here, get the token. So damage done, 11, but I'm still around. That's pretty good. I guess it helps I did disorder them, so they were only wounding on 4s rather than 2s. So that is good. What about over here? So we've just got some more damage done on him, but he sticks around. But what was surprising is the Order of the Forsaken to take out my Soul Reaver infantry. So they're gone. Didn't even bother to put a dice down. So they took a lot of damage. And I believe that's the state of the board at the end. Yes. So that's what we've got. We've got We have he has one token here, so that's 2, and I believe he's in range. There's one under here somewhere, 3, 4, and I don't think he was in range of this one here. I don't think so. Cannot recall. So let's say it's a 4, but it's 4-1 or a 5-1. It doesn't really matter. Either way, it's a lot. He abandoned this one over here, and it turned out fine for him. And so yeah, it really just comes down to the fact that I'm not sure if I should have gone over here and so heavily. But there were a lot of tokens. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 tokens on this side. But by doing so, I funneled myself in, and he's more elite than me, really. I mean, if it had taken him much longer to have that horde with my Soul Reaver cavalry, like for instance, he does hit the skeletons. Yes, he kills them, but he doesn't get the charge off because I charge him, and then he takes a turn to hit me back, but he's weakened because he's disordered, so he might not kill my Soul Reaver cavalry, and then I get to hit him back one more time, and maybe then I kill him, or at least he's still really battered by the time he comes around, and then my Balefires are doing a whole lot more. Maybe the unicorn's dead because that unicorn was ruining my day. This one, I don't know, but still, it was a fantastic match. Tucky's just really into the game, and it's just like it's all just good fun. That's how he made this army. I mean, a Soul Reaver. I keep defaulting to Soul Reaver, but a cavalry horde is usually not the optimal choice. But if used well, they can actually be quite optimal and very scary. And he used them quite well. And I mean, of all the cavalries to take in a horde, the Order of the Brotherhood is pretty good because they can come with that Pathfinder. So they're already ticking one box where you don't have to try and just give them the boots because you just don't want to be wasting that. And so instead, you can spend that on the Brew of Strength to give them more hitting power because they do need that. Because otherwise, they're just hitting once and then they're stuck. So I think of all the cavalry hordes out there in all the various armies, they are a really good one to choose because, they just have that ability to... they already have some built-in rules that make them quite effective, and it's in an army that has a lot of access to heal, so that you can keep that horde going because it will accumulate damage over time, unless you're going against me in this particular game. And so you just need to look after it a bit. And armies that don't have that heal make cavalry hordes is not as useful. So, for instance, I don't know, goblins can take a cavalry horde. I don't know why you would, but you can. But you wouldn't want to because there's too many things that they don't have because they yes, they're nimble, which I guess is somewhat helpful in a way, but they can't really take advantage of that because then they can't do nimble flank charges or anything. Like they can't do like a 90-degree turn after combat to get out with a withdraw or anything like that. So yeah, it's when you're a big horde, it's tricky. But he did it very well. They're very scary, and I will now be going down the tables, which I'm kind of happy with because the kinds of lists that are running around at this event, there's a few players that were with the new Night Stalker rules that were being used. They saw those terrors and just thought, "Whoa, I'm going to take a bunch of those." And like there were lists with 2 terrors, 3 terrors, or 3 void lurkers. So lots of Night Stalkers running around with the new stuff, and I'm like, no, don't want to go against that, please. Not really. I mean, it doesn't really matter to me. I don't have that much shooting, so the stealthy part doesn't scare me. But I do have a lot of infantry. The Soul Reaver infantry would not like going against a terror because they will be ensnared and then they'll get decimated with that, bloody 20 attacks thanks to that Rampage 8. So, no thank you. But we'll see. You never know. They might have lost and I'll go against them in the next round. But yeah, definitely a loss for the first one, but that's okay. That's all right. We'll just take it as it goes and go on to the next round. But it was a great game. And let me know if there was something I did wrong that I didn't bring up, or you have suggestions for the things I did bring up that I could do better. Let me know in the comments because I do read them all. I try and respond to them all. I like a good bit of discussion. But until next time, keep caffeinated, which in China is a little bit harder to do because there's not as plentiful supply of cafes as there is in Australia, Melbourne. The coffee's not as good, but whatever. I'll make do. I have a little Nespresso machine to pump out some espresso shots. And that's enough about coffee for now. So until next time, I already said it, keep caffeinated. So do that. See ya.